All right, Algebra 2, welcome to your game plan video for 5.5, 5.8. Again, you guys do not have this game plan in your possession as of the moment of this taping, but just trying to get out in advance before little Elsie Mae's birth there. All right, so here it is. Again, we are brought to you by Chinatown, Coffee Espresso, and today, Fitbit. There is a little bonus question for Candy at the end. So page 1 of this game plan you guys will have soon. Literally the first question, just factor what multiplies to 30 differs by 1. There it is. 5 you're factoring. 6 you're factoring. Guess and check there. That might take a while. That's how you guess and check. Alright, so a little test. Again, when we learn this, move 27 over. What number to the third power gives you 27? That one's 3. That is the one real solution, okay? We will look at those later. All right, so factor completely. So this is the rule, okay? It's not simply x plus 2 to the third power. We'll learn about that rule later. It's x plus 2. You take the cube root of both, then you square the first term. It's always the opposite sign. You take the inner product, 2 times x, and you square the second term. So that's how we got that. Again, it'll make sense when we do it a lot in class together. Don't miss those days. You take the cube root of 27, that's 3x. Take the cube root of 64, that's 4. Square the first term. Make it the opposite sign. So plus, you take the inner product, 12x, and you square negative 4. Get on this next quiz, I'll definitely let you use your game plan to help you out. Factor out the 2, then you have the sum of 2 perfect cubes. Did I say perfect squares before? Perfect cubes. Cube root of x to the third is x. Cubed root of 8y to the third is 2y. And then square the first term, opposite sign. The inner product of x and 2y is 2xy. And then you square the second term. All right, that's page 2. This game plan is less pages. Definitely do have to do more work. All right, the only thing different than literally the first one we did is in how do you get x to the fourth is x squared. Well, multiplies to 5 as a 6, 5, 1. Instead of x and x, it's x squared. No big deal here. Same thing here. What multiplies to 10 differs by 3 is negative 5 and 2. Or 5 and 2. 5, the middle term has to be negative x squared minus 5, x squared plus 2. All right, now we're factoring, so that's how we get the top. And then you set it equal to 0. So set x squared minus 7 equal to 0. X squared equals 7. When you take the square root, remember it's always plus or minus. X squared plus 5 equals 0. X squared equals negative 5. So x equals plus or minus I root 5. All right. There you go. For the next one, x squared plus 6. X squared plus 3 equals 0. Get x squared plus 6 is 0. X squared plus 3 is 0. Here you can get 4 imaginary solutions. Remember, plus or minus means 2. Plus or minus means the other 2. All right, square root of negative 6 is I root 6. Square root of negative 3 is I root 3. Okay, the big questions for this chapter are these. So here's how it factors. Okay, first you factor it. Difference of 2 perfect cubes. Cube root of 8x to the third. Cube root of 1. Square the first term. Always opposite sign. The inner product is 2x. Square negative 1, you get 1. 2x minus 1 equals 0. That's always your one real root. Use the quadratic formula for this. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This will always give you an imaginary solution. All right? Fact. Same thing here. Wow. Just factor it. 4x plus 5. Square the first term. 16x squared minus the inner product of 4x and 5. It's 20x plus square 5. Set this first parentheses equal to 0 to get your real root. Use the quadratic formula. You can just leave it like that. On these, just give me the 2 real solutions. How you get to the third, or the 6th power is x to the third, x to the third. Well, multiplies to 8 differs by 7. Positive 8, negative 1. Set this equal to 0. There you go. Set this equal to 0. There you go. Negative 2 and 1 are your 2 real solutions. You would have 4 imaginary solutions. All right. Folks, a little practice on synthetic division. There you go. Set what you're dividing by equal to 0. 4 for 4x to the third is 0 for x squared. 6 for 6x. Negative 9 for the constants. Left with the big remainder there. Here are just factoring. Okay, you have to guess and check on number 5. That's how you do it. Again, we got to get good at guessing and checking this semester. Again, that was page 5. Going on to page 6. So what are we doing here? Write a polynomial. Given a polynomial, one of its factors, find the remaining factors. Whoa. So 3 is one we're going to do together in class, but here's how you do it. I'm telling you that this is a factor, so set it equal to 0. Use synthetic division. If it's a factor, you better get a remainder of 0, which we do. Again, you're using synthetic division here. We started with 3x to the third, so this is 3x squared plus 13x plus 12. This does factor to give you that. Again, that's guess and check. That's the 2 other factors. Here, set x plus 3 equal to 0. You get x equals negative 3. Again, do synthetic division. You're left with 2x squared minus 11x plus 5. Going to have to guess and check. That's what you get there. Again, we're going to really take our time on these. All right, same idea on 7. This one's a little bit easier. Set x plus 2 equal to 0. Put negative 2 in the cubby. Synthetically divide. That means that is x squared. There's no x term, so that's just minus 1. That's the difference of 2 perfect squares. X plus 1, x minus 1. Given that x plus 4 is the solution, so you just put 4 in the cubby, to that, find the other 2 solutions. So do synthetic division. You're left with 6x squared minus x minus 2. You can use the quadratic formula, or you can do guess and check. You can get those 2 answers. Again, quadratic formula or guess and check. Those 2 answers. Given that x equals 3 is the solution to that, find the other 2. Put negative 3 in the cubby. You're left with x squared minus x minus 2. That factors really easily. And those are your 2 answers. All right, then we're going to take our time with this. 5.7, just factor, and then set it equal to 0. What we're going to do here is we're going to factor by grouping, all right? We're going to take out the x squared that they have in common, bring down that positive 5, take out the 5 they have in common. So x plus 8 goes in one parenthesis, and the x squared plus 5 goes in the other. Write the equation of a quadratic with roots of that. Well, if x equals negative 3 and x equals 5, I know that x plus 3 is a factor, x minus 5, and just FOIL it first, outer, inner, last. All right, solve each equation. Folks, factor out the x they have in common, and then x squared plus 12x plus 32 factors to give you that. X equals 0, x equals negative 8, x equals negative 4. What's 4 got? Factor out the x they all have in common. Notice this is x to the 4th. 1 multiplies to 1 and adds to 2. 1 and 1, but it's going to be x squared times x squared there. So really just set this equal to 0. It's the same thing. Get plus or minus I, and x equals 0. 5 is just like 4. Factor out the x they have in common. You're left with x to the 4th minus 8x squared plus 16. 1 multiplies to 16, adds to negative 8. Negative 4, negative 4. To get x to the 4th, it's x squared. You get plus or minus 2. That's page 10. All right, number 7 on page 11, factor out the x, and then that factors easily. You got your 3 solutions. Remember, if it's x to the 3rd, there are 3 possible unique solutions. If it's x to the 4th, there are 4 possible unique solutions. Plus or minus means 2. Plus or minus means the other 2. All right, that's how that factors. Moving down here, going to try to finish up relatively quickly. Factor out the x they have in common. Then that factors pretty nicely. Remember, x equals 0 is the solution. This thing should have 5 solutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, page 12. Write a polynomial function of least degree with those 3 solutions. Well, folks, x plus 3, x minus 2, and x minus 3 then would all be factors. And FOIL the first 2, then bring down that x minus 3 and just distribute. As we've seen previously, folks, if every time I get an answer of I, it's always plus or minus. So the conjugate is also the answer. So if 3i is an answer, negative 3i is the solution. Well, what we talked about in class is if you have 3i, negative 3i as a solution, just do 3 times 3. All right, that's 9. All right, or x squared. I guess we're going to talk about this. This is better. Do 3 times negative 3. You get negative 9. So to get 3i is an answer, you have to have, I'm trying to do this sideways here, you have to have x squared equals -9. So move the -9 over, you have to have x squared plus 9 in parentheses. These are actually better to do. Just FOIL that, that's what you get. All right, on 18, if 0 and 4i are solutions, then -4i is a solution. 4 times -4, you'd have to have x squared equals -16, which is why I put that in the parenthesis there. And then if x equals 0, it's simply an x on the outside. So that one's very easy. And that was page 12. Last 3 pages, here we go. Just set it equals 0. All right, that's really easy. F of x is just a function of x. Again, factor. What multiplies 15 adds to 8. 5 and 3. And to get x to the fourth, that's x squared. What multiplies 63 adds to -16. There you go. Plus or minus 3, plus or minus root 7. This one right here, what multiplies 32, differs by 4. All right. Oh yeah, I can change this. That was 8x squared. It's got to be 4x squared for it to factor. And again, we've done this before. Factor by grouping, 4 terms. What do they have in common on the first two? X squared. What do they have in common on the second two? 4. Put the x squared and 4 together, the 4x plus 1 together. Set 4x plus 1 equal to 0. That's your real solution. Set x squared plus 4 equal to 0. You get plus or minus 2i. All right. What multiplies 18 differs by 3. -6 and 3 there. Set x squared minus 6 equal to 0. X squared plus 3 equal to 0. And finally, your last page with 2 bonus questions for some relatively premium candy. All right. There you go. Factor by grouping on 9. So a lot less pages because there's a lot more work. This game plan. And lastly, for bonus A, name all Bob Dylan albums of the 1970s. Good luck. Bonus B for the definite primo candy there. You get 5 guesses. So Google, guess Mr. Yock's top 5 Mumford & Sons songs. Good luck there. All right, folks, that is your game plan video for 5.5 to 5.8. This is Yock Math Video signing out.